Kanisa iko na wapi?
Mbele huko.
Kwani hili eneo linaitwa Stella Maris. So, yes, hi good people. Yes, how are you? How are you doing? Welcome back to Pamba Arnolda. You know, where we get you the best of the best vlogs. Good people, we are taking you with us to the world, one vlog at a time. So yes, we decided to go visit because yesterday I was at the Serai caravan where the slave trade was being done, and I was told there's you know, a Roman museum over here. So I'm going to visit the church where it's part of where the slave trade was done. It has the history of how slave trade was done. It's just part and parcel of it. There's also another segment. I hope I can be able to go there as well. It's called Kaole. Good people. Yeah, this is the famous Maria Ernestina, you know, the Chekanao lady. We saw this I saw it at the, you know, Serai caravan yesterday, and here is her story, that she was captured with her mother by the slave traders in 1890 in the East African Republic, Democratic of Congo, and both were taken to the Swahili coast. So her mother died on their walk to Bagamoyo. So when the caravan arrived in Bagamoyo, the slave trade was abolished and the German authorities were in power. So the young girl was given to the care of the German family, but she ran away to the Catholic mission and was educated by the sisters. In 1910, she married Joseph Maganga, but Maganga was a leper and died in 1919. Oh, Maganga had leprosy. So in 1925, she married Victor Kitiza, but they did not have children. In 1974, she died in a very great age of about 85 years old, and she was last known as the ex-slave who was given care by the Catholic missionaries in Bagamoyo. These are groups of the villagers trained for liturgy. It built up a sense of responsibility for them. These are some different sketches of the Christian Freedom Village. The Christian Freedom Village, that's the sketches of the villages. And this is a boy of the Freedom Village, a boy from the Freedom Village. And over here, this is an example of a one page from the Register of the Ransomed Slave in Bagamoyo, a register of the ransomed slaves. Here we have the Pope Leo, who supported fully the anti-slavery movements of his time. So Pope Leo expressed his thanks to the anti-slavery conferences of Brussels within 1889 to 1890. So the conference of the Brussels, the meeting of the representative of all European governments, demonstrated the willingness to handle the problems of the Negroes, the slavery, with all the power which is needed to end the sufferings they had undergone over here. So slavery was officially and finally abolished in East Africa in 1920. This is himself, Pope Leo. Over here we have, however, that the slavery ended in 1873. The British consul Sir Kirk and the Sultan Bagash of Zanzibar signed a treaty. This is the treaty which closed the slave market, but still slavery went on. So slave hunters tried to smuggle slaves out of East Africa. So it says here that the Anti-Slavery Act of 1890 at the Brussels gave slaves for the first time the basic rights. And the rights included religious freedom, freedom to marry, free food and lodging, 2 days off every week, the right to get salary, the right to possess property, the right to inherit property of the slave master, the right that families could not be separated. Also, there was a signatory of the Anti-Slavery Act of Brussels. So Germany introduced 4 ways for the slaves to obtain freedom: by being ransomed, by release by a slave master, by court decision, and by self-ransoming. You could ransom yourself. There are 22 freedom deeds from 1891 to 1915 that indicate 15 slaves were ransomed by the missionaries, 3 slaves were set free by the slave masters, and 2 slaves were set free by court decision. 1 female slave was ransomed by her husband. And we have the British, the cola fruits over here. These are cola fruits. They were eaten by the slave traders, which kept them awake so that they could watch slaves during the night and prevent escape. So these fruits came from the Kirando near Lake Tanganyika in Rukwa region. They were donated from Father Philbert Chundu. This is the picture of the slaves, being taken to be sold after being picked out who was fit. I think these were chains that were tied on the legs and around the neck. This here is the original slave neck chains that were used by the slave traders to chain the slaves. These are the original ones that the slave traders used to tie the slaves on the necks. And this here is Hamed bin Muhammad. Hamed bin Muhammad was an Afro-Arab born in Zanzibar. His father owned plantations in Tabora where Tip worked first. So later he moved into the caravan trade and started his own business in 1865. He became the most famous of the slave trade. Kumbe there was fame also to be obtained out of it. So this is just the way of the slaves from the coastal region up to the slavery market in Zanzibar. They were taken to many different destinations of the world. They're here. This is at the market. We saw it yesterday at the Serai Caravan Museum over there. This is the slave trade route in East Africa. And we have the old measuring vessels that were used in the 19th century to measure weights of the grains instead of vessels. And these here are the scales which were used by the Indians and the Arab traders in the 19th century for measuring the weight grains of kilograms instead of using the vessels. What else is here? On here, we have the containers to keep money. Let me put my light on. These were containers that used to keep money according to the oral family tradition used by the Munyikondo, born in 1727, Mtekelezo, born in 1817, and handed over to the Catholic Museum on 23rd of January 2000. This one is just the caravan of Serai yesterday that we saw in Bagamoyo, which was the end point of the thousands of the caravan porters on their way from hinterland. And this is the old slave abandoned because of age. These are the liberated slaves. And I think this is how they used to move. Being moved all the way. These were like 1,514,000 East African slaves, which were taken in the 19th century. Distributed South Africa 276,000, Reunion Mauritius 95,000, East African Coast 796,000. Over here, these are the caravans of the slave. The women carrying their kids, their babies. So at the same time the caravans of the slaves arrived in Bagamoyo, they may have lamented. This is how they were lamenting, the songs of the slaves. My heart is bleeding, bleed my heart. On the fields at home we worked, singing and joking. Cruel men surrounded us, caught us like animals, chained us one to one like animals. My heart is bleeding, bleed my heart. My heart is bleeding, bleed my heart. Where are you, my father, my mother? Where are you, my brothers, my sisters? Where are you, my friends? Are you caught like me? I'm so lonely. Wow, this is so sad. My heart is bleeding, bleed my heart. My heart is bleeding, bleed my heart. They forced us to march miles and miles, not knowing where they take us. No hope anymore in my life. My heart is bleeding, bleed my heart. My heart is shivering, shiver my heart. I see the water which I never have seen. Water, water, water up to the horizon. They push us into the water. On the dhows, I crash down my heart. No hope anymore. Wow, these are musical, the tears of the fear, the tears of joy. So the name Bagamoyo is derived from the Swahili phrase Bwagamoyo, which means crash down my heart. And this is the song of the porters that says, be happy my soul, let go of all the worries. Soon the place of your yearnings is reached, the town of palms, Bagamoyo, far away from how my heart was aching when I was thinking of you, my pearl, your place of happiness, Bagamoyo. There are women who wear their hairs parted. You drank palm wine all the year around in the gardens of love in Bagamoyo. The dhows arrive with streaming sails and take away the treasure of Africa in the harbor of Bagamoyo. Oh, what a delight to see the ngomas, where the lovely girls are swaying in dance at night in Bagamoyo. Be quiet, my heart, all worries are gone. We are reaching Bagamoyo. This is a song of hope. And up there's the Bagamoyo, which was in the 19th century in East Africa as the main terminus for the ivory and slaves. That's the slave market in Zanzibar with Father Anthony. You see men, women, and children chained like animals and sold like animals. The seller shows one of the slaves to the buyer. This one starts to inspect his muscles, his teeth, his genitals. I cannot tell about selling of women. Those are the caravan of slaves in the interior of Bagamoyo, a marching of 4 to 6 months. They're still marching for 4 to 6 months. This is on the way, the abandoned slaves. The Anglican missionary Dr. David Livingstone reported that out of the 5 persons enslaved in the interior, only one arrived at Bagamoyo. That's quite something. This is just, a chart, a map here, the abolition of the slavery, how the Christian Freedom Village was founded, the human merchandise, the market of Bagamoyo, and all that. Let me see what else is here. We have the frame that was made in Bagamoyo by the students in 1931 over here. That's the frame. Let's start by down here. This is a date tree that symbolizes plenty of prosperity, possibly a Hebrew design. This lotus, the lotus of Rosette, is the symbol of generation power, probably a design of the Egyptian origin. Yeah, this is the date tree over here. This one, the date tree, which symbolizes plenty of prosperity. Oh, there's an insect over there. This is the lotus. The lotus over here. The lotus of Rosette, which is the symbol of generation power, probably a design of the Egyptian origin. And this is frankincense. Its smoke denotes wealth and generosity, maybe a motive of the Egyptian or Syrian origin. These are the chain. This here is a chain that symbolizes security, its original form, and it has 2 derivative forms, this one and this one. This is the flower vase. The fish symbol here becomes a vase with flowers. And over here we have the fish. This one over here, the development of the symbol shown that is found in different doors. And we have a pineapple. The fish has taken the form of a pineapple and its foliage, possibly a development under the Indian influence. This is just the development of a symbol of fertility. Over here, mageuko ya alama za barabara ya kuzaa. Wow. And this over here shows the blessing and the inauguration on the Way of the Cross in 2017. The Way of the Cross, as the Catholic Church does it. And then this is a view of the Bagamoyo mission sketched by Father Alexander Leroy in 1885. That's the first church that was built in Bagamoyo in 1872. In 1873, the Father's house was started. This life in the Christian village, just how the liberation was done, the liberation of the former slaves, which was totally uprooted from so many tribes with different languages and all the suffering from the horrible experiences of the slavery. This here, I think there's a woman being dragged on the chain over there. It's quite sad. That's something. They have some pamphlets over here, and this is a file, this is a pamphlet, and over here we have the tiles. These are the tiles. Let me put my light on. These are the tiles that were made from the asbestos, which were used to roof the Bagamoyo Cathedral from 1914 to 2016. These are pictures of the renovation of the Cathedral Church of Bagamoyo for preparation of 150 years of Jubilee, as they were repairing the church of the Bagamoyo. And that's the altar of the Bagamoyo Cathedral. That's the plan that was made by the French missionaries. It shows just different angles of the second church. This is how the new tiles that replace the ancient ones over here. The new ones. What else is here? This is a board that indicated the towns and the villages with schools in the Bagamoyo district area in 1918. Let me switch off my lights. Yes, that indicated the schools in the Bagamoyo district area in 1918. The mission schools had an important influence on education and formation of the East Africa. Here we have the schooling in Bagamoyo. The Spiritans started it to train indigenous teachers over here. Just schooling, this farming, I think agriculture over there. And these are youth adults that were trained in different skills such as carpenters, blacksmiths, and farmers. These are students in class, all those students in class. This is from the Library of the Missionaries. This is the law of the Catholic Church in 1746. These are just commentaries to the Bible in 1748. These are storybooks, just books. And this is the missionaries, which was greatly developed in the Swahili language, especially Father Charles. His most outstanding works are his dictionaries, French in Swahili and Swahili to French, and his Swahili grammar. This is him, Father Charles himself. Yeah. And over here, this is a cap that was worn by the Holy Ghost Fathers in 1929 for the agricultural activities and vocation training in Bagamoyo. Over there. What else is here? This is like a carved from stone which they got from the sea. They used it by the missionaries in the 19th century for filtration so that they could get clean water and healthy drinking water. The waters are from filters and porous. Oh, really? These are just charts by Father Alexander Leroy, how a missionary saw Africa. So Father Leroy was in Bagamoyo in the 1880s. He was an accomplished artist. He published many books illustrated with places, people, plants, and insects that he saw. This is how a missionary was seeing Africa. This is Africa from a missionary's eye, illustrating the people, the insects, the plants, the places that he saw. So he will do paintings of that. Well, that is how the Catholic Church in Tanzania expanded in the beginning, from different places. These are the Reverend Sisters of the Congregants of M-PESA. Wow, that's something. This is a map on the routes from Moshi to Arusha to Zanzibar to Dar es Salaam over there. And that's the Father Anthony Horner. This is Bishop Armand over there. And this over here is the cathedral, the first vicar apostolic of the Bagamoyo Diocese, Bishop Francis Xavier. And these are Holy Ghost Fathers with the Bishop Allegia on the 19th of April 1897 in Bagamoyo over here. They were together with Bishop D. Camont, Sewa Haji, and White Fathers, the White Fathers priests over here. Just the pictures they were taking. The catechists in Bagamoyo as well. Just a picture of that. And this is the Sisters of the Congregation of Daughters of Mary, which came with the Spiritans and involved themselves in the social project. Oh, look at the chart. Beautiful, beautiful. These are sisters who took care of small girls and female adults. And in here, they have bigger groups of girls who are trained to take responsibility for the younger ones over there, up there. So there were small boys and male adults who are under the care of the Spiritans, fathers and brothers in small groups. They all got the elementary education, and the young adults were trained different skills: carpenters, blacksmiths, bricklayers, shoemakers, and agriculturalists, even as printers as well. Okay, what else is here? Let me rush through. We have the Gulam Surali from 1928 to 1962. This is the arrival of the missionaries, which caused a crisis in the town. So upon the order of Sultan Majid, the Shomvi was granted the land to them, but there were challenges from the rights of the Diwanis to make these concessions. So Sultan Majid had to assure the missionaries that the mission land by a Second Land Act in 1868 over there. Just pictures and charts of the Liwali of Bagamoyo over here. Look at that. Okay, run through. These are the ransomed slaves in Zanzibar over here. And this here is the Sultan Majid bin Sultan of Zanzibar within 1856 to 1870, who was a great friend of the Holy Ghost missionaries. Down here we have the Bulletin General, just a history of the Bagamoyo. Sewa Haji was quite famous and profound. We have a history of his reign here from 1851 to 1897, that Sewa Haji had deep roots, you know, in his Muslim faith, but he was also had friendly contacts with the Spiritan missionaries. Since 1877, he outfitted their caravans to the new places in the interior. So while in France, he was in 1889, well received by the General Superior, Father Ambrose Emond. In his last will on November 6th, he appointed Father Entienne. Wow. And this is the Baur as the first trustee. So he bequeathed to the Spiritans a substantial amount of money for charitable work. Oh, bequeathing. Left the money to, you know, the Spiritans. This is Sultan Sayyid of Bagash in his reign from 1870 to 1888. So on July 21st, 1875, Sultan paid and invited Father Anthony Horner an official visit to the headquarters of the Spiritans to the mother house in Paris. Wow, and was warmly welcomed by the Superior General. With his visit, the Muslim Sultan demonstrated his close relation to the Spiritans missionaries in Bagamoyo. Wow, that's something. And this, I think, it's just the oldest map of Bagamoyo from 1867. And over to the right, we have the second oldest map of Bagamoyo in 1870 over there. This is the first one and the second one. And what's this over here? So this is a vertebrate of the whale found in Bagamoyo in 1986. A vertebrate. How strong it is. Look at that. Yeah, the vertebra. A vertebra of the whale. Look at this. This one over here. It's quite huge. So it says this is the head and the ribs of the whale that was gotten at Kaole in 2017. It was handed by Ann Makame. Wow. Let's see what's here. This is the Poplio. Poplio, who fought against slavery in 1888. He required that we all ask in power to end the dreadful slave trade and take all the steps in order to extinguish slavery over here. And then there is Father Alexandra, who fought for the rights of the East African slaves and was called Father of the Africans. We have Father Francis Paul, who wrote in 1848 that the Spiritans shall be advocates, defenders, and supporters of the weak and little ones against those who oppress them. So they shall do all they can to establish between the rich and the poor that Christian charity which enables all men to see themselves as brothers and sisters of Christ. And lastly, we have Father Amabol Foden, who wrote in 1834, like we, the slaves, are created as God's image and they have the same rights which we have. That's quite humane. I think he had captured this from, Chekanao right there. And let's see what else is here. So this is a stool for the patient. Let me put my light on. This here is a stool for the patient who must be sitting on a stool with 3 legs. So this kigoda over here was used by a medicine man of Buyuni in the district of Bagamoyo, who was called Mzee Mtanuke Senganda. And there's some utensils over here, some small gouds over here, which are just calabashes in general, which were used to hold medicine. These ones, the calabashes, they used to hold medicine, and each of them is made in a specific way and has a specific use. What else is here? We have a piece of the black fabric, which was used to cover both traditional doctors and the patients. It was a requirement from Zigwa, Zaramo, and the Kwere tribes. These are the twin spirit talisman, which were made by Mtanuke bin Chimwaga in 1905. Those ones over there, so that when it has some problem, it can rely on the help of that spirit. For his family. So he made it for his family so that they can rely on the spirit of this talisman. It was found in the Mwambao school. Also used to protect his field at Nunge. So he made 2 black horns of gazelle, a pack of small sticks, termite and wasp oil, and a nest of the crane. This is a shell of the porcupine on display here that was used by the medicine men, this shell of the porcupine, before and during a travel in order to know if the travel will be good or bad. So they set up the shell upright and asked it whether the travel it will be good or bad. So if the shell will fall on its back, the travel it will be good. And if the shell will fall on its face, the travel will be bad. So also for the second way, a prickle of the adult porcupine was used to mainly in the cult of the spirits. So in the case of a cult offered to a genie present in the mind, and also in the weaving of special cups and necklaces at Zanzibar, Bagamoyo, Tanga, and Singida. So this flesh of porcupine was good food, and it was used as food for those who liked it. This is a calabash that was used as a music instrument over there. We have these are like weapons which were used in the traditional ceremonies by the Wadoe and the Kwere people. Look at that. Some beautiful ornaments. And we have the old music instrument which was played by the Wagogo during the festival of celebration by the Wazaramo, who used it as well. This one, it's a music instrument. Let me switch my lights off. It is blurring the mirror. Now wait first. There's a medicament. It's all over the place. I can't see which one is which one. Let me try. Over there at the end, we have the trash, to thrash satans and genies. That sort of like a whip, that one was used to trash the genies and Satan. And we have the bracelet over there made of red copper, traditional remedy against apoplexy. What's apoplexy? And we have this preventive medicament protecting from different diseases, a sample of the hirisi. That's a hirisi over there. Wow. And this over here was used by traditional doctors to treat some diseases of children. That one, the sickle, the wand of the sickle. And this is a mirror used by the traditional doctor. Let me switch my light off. So this one, the flash is off. This is the mirror used by the traditional doctors, which can make appear the image of a person or a thing that troubles the patient. Like we see in movies, in Nigerian movies, mostly they portray that. And this one was a zeze. In Kiswahili, it has 2 aspects, a musical instrument and also an art of music. So majorly a musical instrument. We have a spear over here used by the Gulamsul Chedel family. And these are sheath with arrows. This one, sheath with arrows, used by the Makonde family. And this is a fighting stick from the Bagamoyo district over here. Down here we have a traditional door cyclophone. The xylophone over here. This is a xylophone. And who's this? His father, Sheikh Mohammed Ramia. And down below we have the Sheikh Abdullah Mahan Ramia, the grandson of the Sheikh Ramia, in front of the Ramia Mosque. The picture is portrayed over there. We have the history. It's quite long. Can't be able to read all that. What's this? This is a historical seat of the Sewahaji. Sewahaji had a historical seat. It was given to him for his generosity by the Do tribe. Wow. This is a seat given to him for his generosity. We have here a porcelain dish for fruits, which was used by the Sheikh Ramia. And here there is a stool which was used by Sheikh Ramia. Down here we have some carvings. There's some items that were used as an offering to the spirits by the Ndengeleko. Wow. So during the offering, each child holds a small wooden figure, and 2 preceding women wear a statue at the neck and black vestment. So each 7th of December, all of the clan assembled for an offering to the spirits. All are given medicine against ailments caused by the spirits over there. What else is here? Down here we have beads of the Wakwere dancers. You have the necklace for the not married girls. This one, a necklace for the unmarried girls. And in here, I think this is a long mortar and pestle over here. Wow. So it was used by women in case of sterility from 1901 to 1924. This one over here inside the casing. So it was in possession of the Wadoi tribe. It was found in 1995 at Lusako. Spirits. These are spirits. Up there it's just written Spirit Museum. These are spirits, carvings of the spirits. And then up there we have the back of the sea turtle. That's the back of the sea turtle. Oh, I hadn't seen the impala over there. That's the impala. We have the gazelle also. That's the gazelle over there. And this that's a snake. That's the snake over there. What else is over here? These are just some flower vases, I think. Oh, this one, I think it was also, I saw it yesterday, the fish net. You know, it was used for fishing. It was made by bamboo trees, made out of the bamboo trees. There's a writing over here that this instrument was used for chasing away big fishes when in a boat at the sea. Oh, this long stick, this one, it was used for chasing the big fishes. And we have the kamati, wow, over here, kamati sanaya. These are just carvings, beautiful carvings, which have some, you know, art and culture connections over here, which have the masks. Look at that, they're beautiful. String music instruments of the 19th century used in Bagamoyo in 1908 by the Gula Msheni Shedeli, found in the RTC house. That's a musical instrument. Musical instrument, what else is here? These are the sandals. I think these are repeating themselves from what I saw yesterday at the Serai caravan. What else? Let me see in here. The instruments. This is an ashtray. An ashtray over here. This is a cup for antimony used for tattoos. And then we have a kitezo chaudi. We have, this was for the eyeliner. I think we saw this at the Serai caravan. Yes. Wow, look at this is Kongoni. It's written Kongoni over there. This is for the buffalo. That's the buffalo, right? Buffalo, and I don't know what that is in English, that animal, but I think it's written there Kongoni. You know what this is? And then this was a bottle used by the explorers who were starting their journey in Bagamoyo. So they got it from Dunda Street in Bagamoyo. This bottle over here. So there's a bottle inside the sisal wrappings over there. This was a sprinkler. This was a sprinkler that was used by the Shaids Muslim in Bagamoyo in 1905. Yes, I think I've covered most of this. This was donated by the Jim Owens. Most of this is repeating. This is Sewa Haji, an Indian businessman, a great friend of the missionaries in Bagamoyo. Sewa Haji. This is an example of the traditional Swahili writing in Arabic found in Bagamoyo. It's a passage of the poem. And this is the Gongoni Mosque, the oldest mosque in Bagamoyo. And that's the entrance gate to the Ijumaa Mosque. And the two religions, Islam and Christianity, and it has all the potentials for interreligious dialogues. There's just a map of the Zanzibar over here, and Wazigua over there. Just the border of Dar es Salaam, Zanzibar, Bagamoyo, and the rest. Let's run through these. There's the comb over there. I think that's found at the beach. You have the jaw of a shark caught at the Mlingotini village in Bagamoyo district. We have the Ola volute shell. We have the Zaytun over there, the grand Amazonian snail. Wow, this is a shell. And we have a marble cone over there. And I've seen a long, sort of like a backbone over there. This is like the backbone, the vertebrae. This is a bullmouth helmet shell. We have the spiny sand cockle. We have the scorpio conch. We have the fluted filter feeder. Dondokiti. Look at that. Down here we have the hippopotamus. The hippopotamus what? And there's a lobster. This is a kind of fish living in the Indian Ocean. We have the shellfish bivalve, able to cut a man's leg, that one over there. You have the porcupine fish, sort of like a poisonous fish, the porcupine fish over there. We have the shark dorsal fin. This is the shark dorsal fin. We learned it in science. This is a crab with cross over there. So there's business going on here as well. You can buy pictures. This one is for 1,500. Some pictures. I think those ones for 2,000 were depleted. You have these ones over here for 1,000. This is for 500 Tanzanian shillings. 500 Tanzanian shillings for those ones. 500. These are beautiful. 500. And we have books here that are being sold as well for 4,000 Tanzanian shillings. 4,000. All here is 4,000 Tanzanian shillings. Up here we have those for 3,000 Tanzanian shillings. Up there is 15,000 and 10,000 in the glass ceiling. These are for sale. 12,000 up there, 13,000. We have 5,000, 10,000, 15,000 and 4,000 down here. Also we have these ones for 10,000, 5,000, 5,000, 3,000. And these are charts. The world religions, love and peace. A picture of this Roman Catholic museum over here. This is a picture of it from how it looks. Yes. To Father Antoine Horner and also Father Etienne Edward. Comments book here, a visitor's book. You can leave a comment. Let me see. You should leave a comment. There's a pen in here. You can write and leave a comment. And fill a pen. Where is it? I write here my name, Arnolda Pamba. Today is on 18th of July 2023. I'm Kenyan. This is my signature. Where are the comments? Where do we write the comments? There's no comment. I thought it could, or maybe this one is for the comments. No, I don't think so. This is for the comments. No, I don't think so. Hapa ni kisign. Nataka kuacha comment. Today is on 18th of July 2023. Pamba Arnolda. Very informative. I have grasped quite a lot. Thank you for preserving history. There you go. I've left my comment over there. You can come leave a comment. Please make it a point to visit this place and read for yourselves. So good people, I'm done with the tour of the Roman Catholic Museum, and the instructor who was guiding us showed this cemetery where the fathers and the sisters were used to be buried over here. So we'll just take a quick tour around and check out the graveyard. So yes, I think from here we can see kumbukumbu ya mpendo. Huyu ni Kriston Peter Mwangi. We have, it's called Angel Majura over here. I think she was a child, Angel, in 2021. Alizikwa 2021. She died in 2021. So it's very recent. Then we have Gladys Hubert Chua from 1986 to 2017. This is quite old. Over here we have Valence, and this is another one, actually Philbert. Over here, go to the other side. You can come over to this other side. So over here, I think from here we have Furahim, we have Johanna over here, And may the souls rest in peace. Really, this just makes you feel like you should fight for your dreams while you're still alive before you get to, leave this world. We have Joseph over here. These are quite new.